Well guys, here we are. Big leg day is upon us. I am excited to get in there today. I'm feeling good. Training's on point recently. Injury free. Full of energy. So should be a good session. I'd say legs is my favourite day of the week, without a shadow of a doubt. Push, least favourite. Then pull, then legs. And the reason why I love legs so much is the psychological battle, the mental battle. There's nothing like going into the gym a bit nervous and leaving knowing that you gave it everything you got. 100% emptied the tank. To take a set to failure on legs, true failure, especially at big movements like pendulum, hack squat, leg press, movements like that, it takes balls, it takes minerals, which is why most men don't have very big legs. Because it is hard, it's hard work. And as I say, when you leave a gym knowing you just gave it your all, it's an incredible feeling. I live for it. So on the card today we have, well, first exercise is a curl variation, because I've actually got arms before my leg training. And the reason why is because apparently, according to my coach, I need to bring my arms up. I haven't been told that for a long time. So got to bring my arms up, and we're going to put arms before legs, just so I'm super fresh going into arms. If I was to put arms after legs, am I going to be able to give that arm training the effort and the intensity that it needs? No way. Is doing a couple of sets of curls before my leg training going to affect my leg training? Of course it's not. So it only makes sense to put that arm training before. So I've got 2 sets of curls, standing calf raise, 3 sets, 2 sets of single leg lying hamstring curl, 1 set of 45-degree reverse hyperextension, 2 sets of leg extensions, 2 sets of seated hamstring curl, but we don't have one at my gym at the moment, so that will be a standing curl. 1 set of hack squat, which will be the set of the day. Looking forward to that. I'm going to be using the Cybex hack, and 3 sets of toe press on the leg press, and another form of calf raise variation, I guess. So 2 bicep, 6 calf, 5 hamstring, and 3 quad. And the reason for that is because my quads are a lot more dominant than my hamstrings. So it only makes sense to have more hamstring work in there. I am in a dieting phase at the moment, so I'm not going to be putting on much muscle. But even still, the time that I'm spending now throughout this dieting phase is a great opportunity for me to get incredibly comfortable with my training plan, get that execution absolutely perfect. So when I do then go into a gaining phase, I'm set. The movements are going to be second nature to me, and I'm going to be able to progress those incredibly fast with more food and more drugs in the tank. My dad has skinny little legs, and my mum has monstrous legs. My brother has got my mum's genetics, and I've unfortunately got my dad's genetics, but it's one of them. We work with what we've got. I'm still going to have massive legs. There's no 2 ways about it. I'll do anything and everything in my power to get there, but I have been dealt, I'll throw all my excuses out now. I have been dealt a little bit of a shitty hand, especially when it comes to calves. And for me personally, there is nothing I want more than big calves. I just think big calves hanging out a pair of shorts is a cool look, isn't it? Let's face it, big old pair of calves. I'd much rather have big calves than big arms any day of the week. But unfortunately, I got the big arms and the little calves. For now anyway. I have progressed them a lot recently, and they will be coming up a lot more. So let's get moving. As always, intensity, execution, the absolute fundamentals. Tempos, bang on tempos, full range of motion, full control. Execution is absolutely everything. Never, ever sacrifice your range of motion, your control, your tempos for just lifting more load, for putting more load on the bar. It makes absolutely no sense. And if you do that, you're simply not going to be able to maximize your sessions. So execution is number 1. Every single day of the week. So hopefully today I'll give you some execution tips, and together we can get some big old tree trunk legs. Let's get it. I'm gonna have my pre-workout meal now, head to the gym, and I will see you in the gym. Exercise number 1, biceps. I'm actually gonna be using a machine which I wouldn't usually use in years gone by. I've not really found many bicep machines that I like, simply because the alignment isn't too great. And alignment is so important. The better alignment you have, the better the range of motion. And alignment is basically your wrist, your elbow being completely aligned throughout the whole range of motion, other than it being sort of slightly off like that, which I find is what you get with most machines. And then, like I said, the range of motion just isn't as good. But this machine, this preacher curl, Nautilus preacher curl, is actually very good. I like it. So nice little switch up, something a bit different. 2 sets, let's get it. Big thing to note when you see me doing these curls is my range of motion. Driving all the way to the top and squeezing hard at the top. None of this half rep stuff. You see so many people doing curls and stopping halfway, 2/3 of the way up. Squeeze the bicep. When you get to the top of the rep, squeeze hard. Slowly release after you've given it that hard squeeze. 2 to 3 seconds on the eccentric. Short little pause in the bottom, remove momentum and drive back up. But that is the main point I want to get across with any type of curl, as it's the biggest mistake. All the way up, squeeze that bicep like you are trying to grow it. Like, the more you squeeze it, the more growth you're gonna get. Fucking make it hurt. Make it hurt, that's the key. That's the key with arm training. It is painful, arm training is painful. So is leg training. But no pain, no gain. And that is biceps complete. So we move on to the main event, legs. Now, before I start training legs, I always do a little mobility routine. So I'll run through that now. 3 exercises. I'm not sure what the first exercise is called, to be honest. The second one is kind of like a hip thrust, which you'll see, and then a lunge. And I find that doing this mobility routine before I train legs really helps me loosen my hips up, open my hips up. I just feel a bit more fluid. It doesn't take long, and as I said, it makes me feel very good. So we'll run through that now. So for the first exercise, which I don't know the name of, I do about 20 reps on each leg. For the second exercise, the hip thrust, again, about 20 reps, squeezing hard at the top. And then the lunges, again, 20 reps each leg. It's not a lot, doesn't take a lot of time, but it just gets you nice and loose. My knees aren't amazing as well, so just gets a bit of blood on my legs and gets me firing. Top tip when it comes to calf training is you want to keep the pressure on your big toe. So as you are driving the way up, imagine pushing into the big toe, and imagine driving your ankles over your toes at the same time. And what that'll do is it comes down to alignment and range of motion. You don't want your feet going like that outwards, because again, the range of motion just isn't gonna be as good. And as well as that, a big one for calves, the same with every single muscle though, to be honest, is really make use of that stretch. Really spend time there. You'll notice that I'm coming down into the stretch and I am pausing. Microsecond, 1 second pause, remove momentum, pressure through that big toe and drive hard up. And with those 2 tips combined, I can guarantee you'll feel a lovely, painful, should I say, not lovely, painful contraction in your calves. Single leg lying hamstring curl. The reason I'm doing this unilaterally is because with unilateral movements, as I explained on the previous vlog, when it comes to lats, is I can get better alignment, better range of motion, and most importantly for myself, because my hamstrings are such a weakness, I can really focus on one at a time, which allows me to give so much more tent to each individual hamstring. And with that, I'm gonna get so much more out of the set. A huge tip when it comes to any kind of isolation for your hamstring, whether that be a lying hamstring curl, seated hamstring curl, even a standing hamstring curl. Before you drive the weight back to contract your hamstring, just before you do that, drive your quad into the pad as hard as possible. And as you drive your quad into the pad, it will allow you to get a much better contraction on your hamstring. That is a tip which is golden. So lower the weight into the stretch, short pause in the stretch, remove that momentum, and then drive the quad into the pad and contract the hamstring. And that'll allow you to get a much better mind muscle connection, really nice squeeze. And the better the mind muscle connection, the more stimulus you're going to put through that muscle and the more growth. One thing that I won't keep repeating as I move forward, but one thing that is true for every single exercise that I do, and that is to remove momentum. Always implement some kind of micro pause in the stretch just before you drive that weight. Any kind of swinging of the weight, any kind of momentum used is just stimulus, just tension being taken off that muscle, which isn't what you want. So always stay true to your tempos, slow eccentric, pause in that stretch, bang. The hyperextension is a very new exercise for me. It's not an exercise that I've done much of in the past, but it is an amazing exercise. I do love it, and my coach has just put it in my plan, and I'm really, really enjoying it. But it's an exercise that's going to take a hell of a long time for me to progress in terms of with weight, because I need to learn the movement. Like even now, I've done it for 3 weeks. I'm still very, very new, very, very fresh. It's still brand new. Like progressing in weight is just not on my radar right now. It's not on my agenda. All I want to do is learn the movement, build that mind muscle connection, better my execution. And that's going to take time. So I'm doing 30 kilograms at the moment. I've done that every single week. I'll probably do that next week, the week after, but each time it feels better and better and better, which is great. That's all I want at the moment. Time to add load will come, but for now, execution, number one. One of my favorite movements, quad extensions. For this one, setup is very, very important. So you want the pivot point of the machine to be exactly in line with your knees. So obviously adjust the back pad so you're making that happen. Next up, straps. Stability is everything. You probably heard the saying, you can't shoot a cannon out of a canoe. You want your glutes to be pinned to that seat, because the more your glutes are moving, the more your body is lifting up and down in the seat, the less tension you are putting through your quads. So absolutely pin your ass to the seat and make sure all of that tension is going through the quad. Next, alignment. So when you get in the machine, create a fist like this and squeeze your knees against the fist. That'll give you perfect alignment, and you want to keep your legs aligned like that throughout every single rep, throughout the whole set. If you're getting any kind of knee pain on a leg extension, it's very likely due to the fact that you're allowing your knees to drift outwards in the stretch. It's very, very common, and that will lead to pain and injury. So definitely something to avoid. And last 2 points, there's a lot to take on board when it comes to a quad extension, but drive forward. Real great tip. Drive the weight forward, not up. Don't imagine you are driving the weight up, straight forward. And you'll notice straight away the difference. It's also, again, great for keeping your knees healthier. In years gone by, when I used to drive upwards, I used to run into a lot of knee pain. So just changing the direction of where you're pushing a weight makes a big difference. And last, but definitely not least, the quad extension is the only movement, the only quad exercise in the whole gym where your quads have maximum tension in a fully contracted range. If you think about a leg press or a squat, a pendulum, the most tension is at the bottom of the rep in a stretch. So it's a great opportunity to really milk that contracted range. Therefore, spend time there. I do at least a 2-second pause at the top of the rep. It's an absolute killer. It hurts, it burns, but definitely worth doing. Anyway, 1 rep up on my first set, which I'm buzzing about. Let's do it again. 10 reps perfect execution, of course. We're not turning this into a numbers game, although I am talking about the numbers, you know, like my form is bang on, my form's perfect. I'm making sure all I care about throughout the set is making sure that next rep is perfect. And if I get an extra rep like I did, we're winning. Didn't get that rep that I wanted, but it's what it is. I'd much prefer to walk away from the set with a matched rep range, or even a drop on the reps, but a better stimulus, a better connection. It's everything, it really is. But I got a rep up on the first set, which is a win, and then back off, match reps, another win in my book. You'll notice when you really focus on the alignment, how much of a difference it makes. As you come into that stretch range, really focus on keeping your knees dead straight, and you will notice it. It will feel a lot better. You'll get much more blood running through your quads, just much more mind-muscle connection, and it will hurt a lot more, which is a good thing. As I say, no pain, no gain. I actually had a client say to me recently just how much of a difference that made. So definitely worthwhile. It's all about awareness. It's all about awareness, being aware of it. And when you are aware of it, as you will be now, you can make that change and see the difference for yourself. Right, 2 sets of standing hamstring curl boxed off. That is hamstrings done. And now we're on to the set of the day. The set that I've been thinking about all night. The set that separates the men from the boys. I love it. I can't wait. Nothing better than a set which just makes you nervous. And I've only got one set. So I've got to make it count. All out. I'll do it, I'll complete the set, and I want to go again. I want to go again, but I can't. I've got to stick to the coach's orders, which is just 1. So let's do this, make it count. Now, a big change that I've made to my hack squatting, my pendulums, is really making an effort not to bounce out of the bottom, because it is so easy to do. And I mean not even the smallest bounce. A complete stop, fully controlling that eccentric, complete pause at the bottom of the rep. And I'm actually stopping like a half an inch, just an inch short as well, just to make sure that I am just not bouncing in any way, shape or form. And then a hard drive up. 8 to 12 reps. I'm gonna stick four plates on. Actually, 4.5 plates we're gonna go for today. I reckon I got it in me. Let's fucking go. me. That was a set. Love it, fucking love it. Nothing better than knowing you gave it everything you had on a set like that. Still fucked now 5 minutes after the set. I don't get how people can do sets and go again. Do sets like that anyway on a hack squat, big movement and go again after like a minute. Like, you're not working hard enough, simple as that. You're not putting in enough effort. When you empty the tank, you take that set to true muscular failure. There is no way you are going again in anything less than 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Like I said, I need 10, 15 actually. One great little execution tip for a hack squat. For 1, injury prevention, and 2, again, just creating more of a mind-muscle connection, putting more stimulus and tension through the quad, is focus on where you are pressing through your foot. Huge, like it's so big. Like I said with the calves, you are pressing through your big toe. Same with the quad movements, leg press, hack squat, pendulum. As you are lowering the weight, press through that big toe on each side. On the heel, you want pretty much even pressure across your feet, but be very conscious of keeping that pressure on the big toe, because as soon as that pressure starts going to the outside of the foot, that's when you're going to run into trouble. That's when you're going to run into knee pain. And also, you're not going to get the same stimulus and the same tension through the quad muscle. So keep even pressure, keep pressure through the medial border, the middle border of your feet, and on the big toe as well. Make a big, big, big difference. Definitely give that one a try. I've said that about 5 times in this video. Give that one a try. You've got lots of stuff to try after watching this. Let me know if it helps. We are at the end. Last exercise, toe press on the leg press machine, 3 sets. Blow the calves up again. And we're back home for some food. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took something away. I hope you took at least one thing away from this video. If you did, that made me very, very happy. And I will continue producing the footage and bringing you as much value as possible. We'll do a pull session next. Actually, it might be upper body. I've got a rest day tomorrow, then upper body. So if I'm not massively busy, then I will get the camera out. I'm not going to do something like this every session, because I'll be honest, it does take my mind off training a little bit, because obviously I'm focusing on thinking of tips and trying to bring you as much value as I'm working through the session, so I'm not like 100% in the session, as you can probably imagine. So I can't be doing this every session, but there's only so many bits of execution stuff I can talk about. So yeah, let's get these 3 sets done, head home, and get some food in my belly. Peace.